Hi guys, we're here with Nick.
Bonjour.
Oh, bonjour.
Straight in.
Nick's a PT. You also, what would you describe your other role as?
Pretty much assistant manager.
Assistant manager.
Yeah.
At a gym, that is.
That is at a gym.
Yeah, it's at a gym. Nice. Okay. So how did you first get into wanting to become a personal trainer?
Basically, the girl that I was with at the time was bored of me bumming around. She literally signed me up to do an apprenticeship at Civic College as a level 2.
Oh, how old are you then, by the way?
18, 19.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So she said, right, you're going on Monday. Have fun. I was literally like, all right. Went there, started it up. Away we go. Level 2, got a job at a club. And then, just went from there and then progressed on.
Oh, cool.
So it literally wasn't even my choice. I just got chucked into it and, loved it ever since.
That's brilliant.
I'm not with the girl now.
And what about it do you really enjoy?
The personal side of it is like just brilliant. The whole social, being able to chat to people, seeing what their life's like. I do get quite a lot of joy out of hurting people. It's good fun. But yeah, just sort of seeing people go from one thing coming into the gym to sort of 6-12 weeks down the line and they're a completely different person. And the fact that you've then helped that out, it's a huge thing, massive thing to be able to do.
That's cool.
And it just gives you a nice sense of achievement, really. It's lovely.
Oh, that's really good. So I suppose to get into the meat and bones of what you actually do, what is your average day? What does that really consist of?
It's changed quite a lot over the years. When I first started out, it was just basically shift work. You come in, you've been assigned inductions, reviews, whatever. But then as it progresses on, I'm now doing stupid hours that ranges from inductions, clients, private clients, cleaning, classes, whatever we need doing at the club, kind of gets done during the day.
So it sounds like not 2 days aren't the same, basically.
No, not at all. You could come in one day and you're thinking, right, okay, I've got a couple of clients, that's it. It turns into, I've got a couple of clients and then I'm going to do this and then I've got a couple more clients and then I'm going to carry on doing this and do this. So it just, it's never the same. And when you're talking to different people, that makes it so much more different as well. You never have 2 clients the same. They might come in and I'm doing the same program with them, but they just take it in 2 different ways. So you could have someone that comes in and sort of goes, oh, I'm not really feeling this today. But they'll have a smash it. And then you get someone that comes in and it's just like, oh, I'm right for this. And then burn out within half an hour. So, yeah.
Is that 2 quite common things you see?
Yeah. You never kind of have a medium. You've either got someone comes in and smashes it or someone just doesn't feel like massively up for it and will just take their time with it. 9 times out of 10, it'll flip by the end of the class, by the end of the session, which it's quite fun to do.
Do you enjoy doing the classes as well? Do you
Love
really get
doing
into that?
classes.
Because that's you've got to be quite you've got to not be shy to run a class, right?
Yeah. So the one thing I've noticed about the fitness industry anyway is you got to have a bit of a backbone, and classes comes into that big time, especially if you're taking on someone's class and they really enjoyed that last class. When I took over Tuesday night spin class, they were all completely used to someone else. I come in and taught something completely different, and they were like, "That was really good." However, music was shit, and I was just like, "Oh right, okay." Wow,
What were they used to, Abba? And you bring a bit of Slipknot?
No,
or what was it?
Their standard way of teaching spin is dance music, something with a real good beat. I come in and chuck a load of rock tracks in, and they're just like, what is going on? This guy is not for real. And I actually had a few people coming up to me saying, I don't actually like your class because of the music. It's a good class, but I won't come to it because of the music. And I'm just like, right, okay, all right, I'll change it. Year down the line, and I was just like, actually, I'm not that bothered. I don't really care. If you don't like my music, you don't like my music. We've got plenty of other instructors that you can come and get involved in. So it is what it is.
So you've got to go the way you want to make
Yeah,
it
you
as
can't
fun
please
as
everyone.
possible.
No, if you try and please everybody, then everyone's going to get on your back. If you do what you want to do, and everyone gets on board with that, it's a lot better off. You'll teach a better class if you're teaching the way you want to teach.
Yeah,
rather
because
than
that
someone else
shows
teaching
your
it.
personality a bit more. Doesn't
Exactly.
it,
Yeah,
come through?
people
A bit
9
more
times out
natural
of
for
10
you.
will come because of you.
Yeah.
So that's quite a nice thing to have.
So that goes nicely into what kind of personality traits do you need to do this job?
Well, aside from having quite a strong backbone, I mean that comes with a little bit of time. You've got to be very approachable, open. You're there to have a laugh. You've got to have a serious side to you, but at the same time, you can't take yourself too seriously. Obviously, you want a little bit of respect from clients. You don't really want them taking the piss, but at the same time, you've got to make it fun. There's nothing worse than going into a gym and being like, "Oh my god, I'm so bored."
Yeah, because you're not going to get the return customer then.
No,
are you?
exactly. Like they'll do one session and be like, "That was awful. I'm bored out of my head. Bored out of my head." So we get people coming in saying, "That was brilliant. Love that. Can I book you up for some more sessions?" And that's your follow-on. Like 9 times out of 10, you do a block booking. People then pay you up front, and then you're just like, right, okay, we'll get you from here to here in 8 sessions.
Do you feel that once you get a client, they're more, you get them on board, they do 8 sessions, and then they might have a break and do another 8 sessions. But once you've got them, they'll come back kind of thing now and again?
Yeah. You kind of get comfortable with people, or people get comfortable with you. They'll start to trust you a little bit more. They'll sort of open up. But 9 times out of 10, if they book a block of 8, they'll finish that block of 8 and they'll go straight into another lot, which again is quite nice, obviously for retention. But to have that, people actually wanting to just come back to you, but that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like you finish the 8 and you sort of think, oh, I'm never going to hear from them again. Oh man, that sucks. But were they the right type of people for training with me? Possibly not. And then you get the people that are like, right, booking straight up. Here's another so-and-so amount of money.
Oh, wow.
Have fun.
So that's obviously a bit of a successful story with you having multiple people booking after and over again. Do you have any interesting stories with people coming in?
Don't name any names.
Sorry, Sandra. Not really. I've had a couple of clients when I first started out that were just like, this is not what I was expecting. Like, and I'm kind of like, well, what was you expecting? And they'll sort of say their bit, and you're like, right, okay, well, I kind of gave that. What else? What more do you want from me? I'm not here to run your whole life. You've kind of got to do some of it. So they're sides that are a little bit like can't really do anything about. Sometimes you have clients that come in and you just look at them and you sort of think you're going to be hard work. But then there's other clients that you think actually you are going to be brilliant fun. And the more experience you get into it, the better off you are, because you can kind of pick and choose a little bit. You get a little bit choosy.
Yeah.
You kind of see someone with the personalities we've got at the moment where I work, you kind of got someone for everyone. So if they don't work with you, then you can sort of say, look, maybe work training with me isn't going to be the best for you. So maybe try so-and-so, 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 see how you get on.
So do you sort of, in that case, specialise with different people? So do you specialise in different things that you do in the gym, or would it be your just personalities that the different trainers would be better suited for clients?
We're all different in the way we do things. Some people sort of focus on the HIIT side of it, so high intensity training. Some are very weights orientated. I mean, I like my boxing, so I quite like doing a lot of boxing training. But the same side of it, I'm a cyclist as well, so leg conditioning and anything to do with cycling, I'm kind of there for that as well. So it all just depends on what the client wants and what their personality is like, really.
So if you were to be hiring a PT, what sort of qualities would you look for out the gate? Obviously they've got to come up to you, they've got to be personable, but if you're going to hire someone, what do they need to show you in that interview or in that trial period with them?
As long as they look like me, then we're already on a winner. So we want someone that's very approachable, that's not afraid to work as a part of a team. Obviously with PT, you are personal training, but you still are part of a team. So they need to be able to work as part of a team, show that they're not afraid to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
If you get someone that's sort of a bit quiet and talks a little bit quiet, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work for them,
Right.
because they're not going to make enough noise to get clients.
Okay.
You need someone that's not afraid to sort of put their head up and say, "Oh, morning, how you doing?" Like, even if you don't know them,
Yeah.
and then you sort of build relationships, and it works.
I suppose on that as well. Earlier, you sort of mentioned very basic of what you might do that day, having clients, sessions, or cleaning. So I suppose they've just got to muck in, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
If they're not doing something, get on and do something, you know. Clean the gym. Get out there.
You've very much got to have that proactive side of you. For someone that's just willing to sort of stand by a computer and just look at that and not really look around, it's just not the place for you. If you're not willing to get stuck in as part of a team, it's just not worth it. Like, you're not going to get anywhere.
Okay. So what would you say some of the negatives maybe of the role are?
Okay, so
It sounds like you've prepared this.
I've prepared this one. I've had a thought about it. So the hours are long, and that's
probably because you have clients come in after work. You know,
exactly that.
Bet they work 8 till 5 or whatever,
Yeah,
and you've got
you're
to be
either
there
training before
when they travel to the
or you're
gym.
training after. Yeah. That's not amazing fun. You don't have much of a social life, but your social life is kind of in the gym. That's where you kind of deal with things. Cleaning sucks. Like, that's probably the most boring part of it. If you're sort of stood around for 4 hours a day and you're like, "Oh, I've got to clean. Right, I'm going to go and clean the treadmills." It just gets so monotonous. You just like, this sucks. So you try and keep as busy as you can. Even if you're just talking to people, it kind of gets you away from cleaning.
And does that matter what level you're at? It doesn't matter, you know, if you're I suppose you're not the gym owner, but whatever level you are, PT, everyone mucks in, right? Like you said, you're a team. So.
Yeah. If you're part of a team, everyone is expected to be part of that team and get stuck in. If you're not pulling your weight along, then we'll pull you up and sort of say, pull your finger out, let's crack on. Stop being a moron.
Okay, so any other negatives? It sounds like you had a bit of a list going on.
Obviously, it's
not overly, to be fair. That was kind of the big bits.
It is quite a big person-to-person interaction, but you never have really had any negatives with people. So even, you know, they are there to train. So even that is quite.
You
easy.
do get. I mean,
you get the odd one, I assume.
Yeah,
but
you
even
always
then
get
it's
the
still
odd person that
right,
you just think, "Oh, just do one, mate." But obviously, you can't really say that. You just kind of have to go, yeah, it's fine. I'll lick your ass. It's fine. It's just, you've kind of got to deal with those people in the way they want to deal with. The more you sort of go, yeah, no probs, then they kind of start to go, right, actually, it's not so bad.
So you mentioned about being a team in a gym, but from the outside, it looks to me like you are competing with each other as well, right, to get clients. So what is the competition like in the industry, especially with the, you know, Instagram BTs, follow, you know, buy my program, do it in the gym? Like, how do you find it must be incredibly competitive?
Yeah. I mean, I've never worked in the city, but spoke to people that do, and it is just ridiculous. If you go on holiday, you've lost a client.
Is that bad?
That bad, yeah.
Wow.
But with us, it's not, because we're only where we are. It's only a small club. We're not looking for loads and loads of clients. It's just one of those things where, right, yeah, you're training with them. That's fine. You're training with them. Oh, would you mind one day just covering that? No, not a problem. So we are very close knit in the club.
Is that also comes to you being in a club and not a freelance in some larger gym sort of thing?
Yeah, because we're part of a team, we are a very rare find for instructors trying to be either into the business or already in it and trying to find a new client base. We offer a wage. Now, majority of clubs now actually say, right, you're going to do 10 hours for us on the gym floor and we'll reduce your rent. We're not going to pay you anything. You have to find that yourself. So that's quite cutthroat.
God, it sounds brutal.
Mate, it's
Jesus.
it sucks. So that's where we work really nicely. And we don't expect loads from our team, but as long as they put their head in, get stuck in, then we're like, you know, we're more than happy to give you some money and sort of get you started. Like, you might be on minimum wage, but that's still more money than what you'd be on a club, so like uptown.
And I suppose if you prove yourself as well, like you said, you know, muck in, get, you know, get your head down, say hello to people. Like you're gonna do well in that environment.
Yeah,
So
100%.
working for I don't know, what would you call your gym? It's not a chain. It's just independent, I
It's
guess.
a health club, I suppose.
Yeah,
If anything.
that sounds like a not an easier route, but a more opportunity maybe.
Yeah. I'd say it is an easier route in a way because you've already got that. You've got that little bit of stress off your shoulders, thinking, "I've got no money. I've got no money." Whereas you have got that little bit of money, so you think, "Right, I've had a bad week this week. It's not been brilliant, but I can still crack on with my life. It's not end of the world. I can go on holiday. I'll still get paid. I can be sick. I can still get paid for that as well." It's just, for being in a small club, it's just brilliant. Like, I wouldn't change anything. I've never thought, I've got to go uptown. I've got to earn more money. It's just nice to be in that club environment.
Do you ever get tempted by the city a little bit? Because I've seen a few. Well, I think Instagram's a bit. There's a few lies out there, right?
100%,
But a few big trainers on Instagram. They've got a couple of 100,000 followers, and they train maybe 10 clients, right? City execs, and they're charging X amount of thousands per session. Like, does that world ever entice you, or is that even realistic? Like, there must be like very few of those types of personal trainers.
Yeah. From what I know about the industry, is there is just thousands of personal trainers, and everyone is trying to sell you something different. The thing with the fitness industry is everyone has their own opinion. After that, it's kind of up to the clientele to sort of believe what they want to believe, if that makes sense. Like, you see it through the results. But nah, never have I thought, I've got to go up to London. I hate travelling up to London at the best of times. So going up there for a job, I'd just be like, yeah, you're all right, mate.
That's fair enough. So, you obviously said some stuff earlier about the cleaning, which not the best thing. But what else would you say is not on the job description if you were, which is involved in your day to day?
Well, if I'm totally honest, the first time I went to the club and I got offered the job, they turned around and said, "We haven't actually got a job description for you because it's just gonna be different every day."
Oh wow!
Like, so with my job, I'm not just a PT.
Yeah.
I work behind the bar, work in the kitchen, do everything that needs knocking out. Cleaning the showers is just rank, but someone's got to do it. So we just tend to muck in as a team and get it done. But not on the job description. I suppose one of the biggest things that I found is you're almost like a psychiatrist or a life coach.
Oh wow!
When people start to trust you, they tend to open up, and you're kind of like, "All right, okay, see if I can help you out here." But
does it ever get a bit too much?
That was going to be my next point. At some points, you kind of step back and go, "Oh, I've just told him to go and finish with something. I shouldn't have done that." So you kind of think, "I've just got to take a little bit of a step back here and sort of look at things a bit more realistic and just almost listen to people rather than sort of throwing advice out there."
Has that become more a bigger part, maybe the mental health side as well? Because we all talk about physical health, but mental health has become a real big thing. Like, do you find that as more, becoming more part of the job, or?
It is becoming more and more. I wouldn't necessarily say too much here. Uptown, it's probably huge. But for us, people just want to come in and just feel better generally. If they sort of walk out thinking, "I've had a really good workout there," 9 times out of 10 upstairs, they're going to be thinking, "Yeah, I feel all right now." They might have come in the worst mood, but they'll come out.
Because that is one of the big things with the gym and exercise. It releases that endorphins, and it just puts you in a better mood anyway.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Going back to what I said earlier, with people coming into the gym thinking, "I'm not going to have a great workout here," and then walking out thinking, "Actually, that was a brilliant workout." You're already in a much better place. Just walking out the door. So, yeah, that's quite a decent thing to sort of have as a job, really.
Where can this job take you? So, you started out as a PT, and I think you mentioned earlier before we started that you sort of almost got scouted by your current job, and you're more than a PT now as well. You have other responsibilities, but where can this job take you? In your career, or maybe you do a bit of travelling, or where can it take you?
So, in career-wise, obviously you can lead right the way up to management. All depends on obviously what you want out of the job, really. If you were to look to travel, then you can pretty much go anywhere. anywhere that you've got gyms, they're going to hire, whether it's a freelance or whether it is sort of employed. You can go travelling for a year and just sort of skip from town to town going, do you mind if I do some PT here? Or what jobs have you got? Anything like that. Obviously, that's a bit unrealistic because you're not just going to go into a job, gym for 2 weeks and pick up loads of clients. But there is that opportunity to do that. I have thought about it. It's been sort of there, the way the government is kind of going. I'm just sort of thinking, is there a way out here? Could be good. So,
I
yeah.
think there's a few people feel like
Yeah,
that.
I think so. So that's, for me, yeah, you can just take it around the world wherever you want. Obviously, you kind of, before you go there, it's better off to check whether they do recognise the qualifications you've got. Otherwise, you might get out there and be like, actually, I can't do this.
So what are some of those qualifications that you have and other qualifications you can get?
So I started out as a level 2, which is your fitness instructor, which is your very basic. That is just teaching you how to do inductions and get people safely in the gym. Then you go a little bit more in depth and go into PT, which is your level 3. From then on, world's your oyster. You've got so many different specialities. You've got rehab, you've got pre and postnatal, kettlebells, boxing, any sport you do these days, like football, golf, rugby, anything, you can find a job fitness-wise in that.
And how long has it taken you to get your qualifications?
So it took me a year to do level 2. Then I had a year of just doing level 2. Then level 3, it took me about 6 months, but that was on the job. So that was trained while you learn, which was quite good. And then after that, I did my spin course, which took a weekend. I've done body pump, I've done combat, loads, but haven't necessarily done much in the last few years. But yeah.
That's interesting what you mentioned about, like body pump, spin. There's always almost, I don't want to call them a fad, but there's always a new class in the in the PT and gym world.
Yeah.
So how do you decide which one you're going to do? Because every week there's come and do this new class and then become a trainer and it becomes certified. How do you decide which ones you should do or you want to do?
For me, it's personal preference. If you kind of look at something and think, actually, that looks really cool, I'm going to give that a go for it. If you look at it and think, that is utter naff, that is going to last about 4 weeks, then yeah.
Have you got any ideas?
Yeah, I don't really want to name them because I've got a lot of mates that do it. I'm kind of thinking, I don't really want to tell you what you do is shit. So I'll give that a swerve.
Fair enough, mate. Okay, so down to a bit of nitty gritty now. What's a sort of basic starting income you could expect as a PT? Say you've got your level 2, maybe level 3, maybe. What is a base income you could expect in your first couple of years?
Minimum wage, 100% minimum wage. I think with the hours that you do, starting out, it is very difficult. Most people I know start from a young age because they're living home with parents, they've got no financial responsibilities. Then the further you progress onto it, it can start to go further and further and further depending on the hours you put in. I mean, I'm working 60, 65 hours a week, but I'm doing quite well out of it, which is nice.
So on that, you said you were being paid a salary. How does that work if you're doing different hours a day, different hours a week?
So I'm salaried to do 40 hours a week, but then I've got private clients on top of that. I've then got classes on top of that. So it's just an accumulation of everything that I do.
So you can, as a PT, really, you can, if you get into a great little personal club, or you can add roles onto your job, which helps with your income, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible. Obviously, like I said, the amount of effort you put into it is then mirrored by how much you're getting out of it.
And obviously you're saying, you can progress just by adding more and more classes on. You spoke about travelling and working that way. But when you do get up to a high level such as management, what can you sort of be expecting at that sort of stage?
So from what I looked at in the past, you're looking sort of maybe 24 to 35, depending on where you're based. I mean, London, obviously, you're going to be a lot more. But anywhere around here, yeah, probably looking at maximum of 30k. which is
And when you say a lot more in the city, this is like your basic salary, is that right? This is not including PT, or is that
no,
including PT?
that's literally just your basic salary. I mean,
Right.
if you're PTing as well at London, you could be working, or you could be earning into the sort of 50 odd thousand,
Okay, wow.
which is
Pretty decent.
quite a lot.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then my eyes, it's I've then got to get up there. I've got to get back.
Yeah, a lot of cost involved.
Yeah. So for me, it just doesn't. I just don't think that works, personally.
Okay, so how is there one piece of advice you would give someone that's thinking of getting into this, and you know that they're not sure if they should, or they might be taking a career change? What is the one piece of advice you'd give them?
If you're looking to put some fun into it, into your life, but willing to put the work in, go for it. It's a giggle. I mean, you stand around shouting at people all day, saying, "Come on, mate, pull your finger out, one more rep, get on with it." Yeah, the hours are long, but if you're not afraid of that, then yeah, go for it. It's just great fun.
That must be difficult with friends and family, though. The hours is the thing that for me would put me off doing it, because, like you say, you know, when people want to train, is the hours usually you'd be at home with your family or friends, right?
Yeah, there is that. There's that side of that. I mean, I just hate hanging around my family because it's just boring. I'd much rather be at work.
So if you hate your family, guys.
For not being me, yeah, there's a lot of unsociable hours. You do miss a lot, but when you get to a point of where you can actually choose your own hours, it's up to you. So if you were sort of thinking, "Oh, I've got my mum's birthday coming up, we're going out for dinner," right, I'll block that out. I'm not going to bother working that. You can there are ways to work around it. 9 times out of 10, with your client base, they are nice enough. They'll sort of understand if you turn around and say, "It's my mum's birthday, I can't do so and so." Then they'll be like, "No probs, we'll just put it on to next week. Let's go." So it's not too bad. It could be a lot worse. You could be sort of stuck doing it all the time.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Okay, well that was I really enjoyed that. Thanks for coming
Thanks for
on
having
and,
me.
and having a chat. Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any last closing comments you want to say?
I'd like to thank my team, for putting me up to this. It's brilliant. No, just thanks for having me. It's been
Brilliant.
great
Thank
fun.
you for having.
Yeah.
coming
Been a
on.
pleasure,
Thanks
mate.
very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.